Good day, my friends. Just got done with a run, and on my run, this thought came to me. So I'm running and I'm working out and I'm doing my things to make my body progress, right? We have all these things in life that, we need to progress, we need to progress, we need to progress, one by money, one by opportunity, one by success, one by all these other things. But how do you measure like personal progression, like internally, like yourself? Like, when do you know you're progressing? When do you know you're evolving? When do you know you're getting over a lot of these hurdles, a lot of these roadblocks, these things that have been holding you up for a long time, these things that you keep reacting to and then feeling kind of guilty for afterwards. You're not truly evolving. So I've had some things happen in my life lately that could have allowed me to be a true asshole. Because I was confronted with things, I was blamed for things, company-wise, relationship, things like that. And I noticed when I got done with all these things, I handled everything with grace, meaning I left everything, with a handshake or a friendship or an understanding or anything like that. And I didn't take it to a point where I felt guilty from being an asshole, or I created something that didn't need to be created, if that makes sense. Meaning that now I cause more residue after I was done. And after that kind of scenario time, I felt like this sense of ease over me, like a relaxation, like more of a trust, more of an understanding. So again, if I'm racing a motorcycle and I become faster, I get a better result. What happens? I become more confident. I become more at ease with myself. I have more confidence. So it's the same thing as when you see yourself, notice yourself doing things that you would normally react to before in a much more graceful way. You find yourself becoming a lot more confident in yourself. And when you become more confident and you have more trust in yourself, you relax in yourself, if that makes sense. So, that is kind of the way that I seem to measure things, because we're always trying to make this exterior world progress, but we're not really confronting and understanding ourselves. So the only way to do it is to be alone. You have to be alone. You cannot be in society and have all these issues that people are saying they're having, and again, being confronted with all these different things, having all this opportunity, all this entertainment, more drama coming into your life. How are you supposed to have the time to have a dialogue with yourself, talk to yourself? How are you able to have time to see where some of these roadblocks are and some of these hurdles are? There's no other way to do it except if you become alone. And so I've put myself, and maybe life has put myself in this situation, because if it didn't, it would have been a a grave road for me. And so it put me in the situation to be alone. Is it scary? Fuck yeah. Is it lonely? Yeah. Is it uncomfortable? Yeah. Is it stressful, unnerving? Yeah. All that stuff. I mean, stuff that everybody's afraid of. But I got slammed into it, or maybe I chose it. But after a while, when you sit with it, you come to terms with it. And when you come to terms with all these things that you think that you're afraid of, and think that you need, and think that you got to have, and think that you should have had, and it went away from you, then you get armed with a sledgehammer, and you get armed with a multi-tool. A sledgehammer, you start knocking down these walls. So these walls that kept you from being yourself, kept you from opening up. And for me, these walls were kept me from showing my true, my true love, my true gift for life, being just this childlike energy, right? And then these multi-tools to fix all the broken parts in you from the past, what somebody else has done, what you did, all these different things that people hang on to. So when you come to terms with being with your alone, so to speak, and being with yourself, and you start to have this dialogue, you start to quiet this mind, you start to see all this stuff start to come up, you have a tool, you start to fix those things. And then the biggest part of a man, I feel, is becoming a witness. And what does that mean, a witness? Well, to me, there's reaction. You do something and then you regret it and have to say sorry later. Another thing is, kind of bottling it up. Okay, I have this energy, I get mad, I get this, but I'm not going to let it out. And I hold it in. Or you become the witness. You start to see this anger. You start to see this loneliness. You start to see this stuff start to come up in your body, this energy. And you can go, hold on. You've been here before. I've played this game before. Not today. And it doesn't even come into your house. It's like at the doorstep. You know, reaction is the guy came into the house and dirtied up your house and left. You know, bottling it up is the guy just pounding on your door. Pounding, 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 won't stop, fucking won't stop. And then the witness is the guy not even getting to your front door with all your problems, if that makes sense. So, I don't know, just this came to me, and I don't ever feel, only thing I read on internet and all these different things is how to progress your money, how to progress yourself, how to progress your fame, how to progress, but how? But take all this stuff away from these people. Take all these things away from these people and put them alone and see how uneasy they are. See how weak they become. Okay? Just because people have stuff and they have money and they have things does not mean they're strong. Actually, they're weaker than the rest because they're relying on them. They're just a bunch of collectors. They're a bunch of collectors of stuff. You know what I mean? They're not becoming rich within. A rich man is a man that has understanding. A rich man is a man that is a witness of himself. And when that starts to happen, you start to become a witness of life. You start to become a witness of your relationships and how you're going about them, and things start to change. You start to see life. It's almost like when you start to knock down these walls and you start to fix these little broken parts, your eyes start to get a little bit brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter and open and brighter. And when that happens, you almost like you start to become childlike again. You start to see things, life in more of a creative way, in more of an understanding, more of an excitement. And what does a child look at life like? And again, most scriptures, or one scripture says, you won't enter the kingdom of heaven until you have eyes of a child, or whatever, it is. But hey, you can live, a kingdom of heaven can be on earth, but that's just by opening your eyes, by cleansing them, by kind of knocking down these walls and all this. Because again, you can read a self-help book. You can go to yoga. You can go to all these freaking circles and dances and all this stuff. You can do ayahuasca and mushrooms and all this stuff and see God. But if you're constantly just bombarded by this society, you're never, ever going to change. You're never going to change. You're almost going to feel less than, because you're always letting yourself down, because you're always slipping back. You go read this book, you go to yoga, you go to this dance circle, you go do this ayahuasca. Oh, wow, I found it, I got it one day. Boom, the second day you're right back into it, because you have too much input from the outside. You're not understanding what your senses are. You get what I'm saying? And the only way to do that is be alone. That's the only way. That is the best medicine on earth, is to be alone. And I don't give a shit what anybody says. Oh, I love to be alone. I love to be alone. Yeah, but son, you have a wife to go home to. That's not being alone. I love being alone when I can. Yeah, but you have a roommate. I love being alone, but yeah, you have cats and dogs and all these different things. No, how about be alone? Try that one time and see what comes up. I'll guarantee you find somebody that you've never found before, and it's a really, really good friend. So thought I'd share that with you guys. Hope that makes sense. But that was on my mind when I was running today. So peace.